Now, going forward, we're working on a number of things with respect to the way we're going to fight crime. In the very near future, I will be announcing a study that's going to be done at no cost to the city that will take a fresh look at what is causing crime, what should we focus on, not necessarily how do we apprehend, but what can we best focus on to bring about the most results. I will be working with the City Council, also with the Sheriff's Department. Sheriff Luttrell came in working on community councils in which we will get neighborhood organizations involved more in patrolling and enforcing and rooting out crime in their neighborhoods. I will continue to work with Memphis Tomorrow and Memphis Fast Forward as we go to the legislature, seeking smarter measures to fight gun crime, tougher penalties. We've got to get the illegal guns off our streets. This is not a matter of locking every kid up, but we know that many of the crimes we have would not occur if the cowboys didn't have access to guns. We will be working with the state legislature on those measures. Better laws, more effective policing, and more visible police are critical. But again, law enforcement is only a piece of the strategy. Young people who find themselves on the wrong side of the law need their freedom once they have paid their debt to society. Most of them truly never leave the jail in any sense of the word. And we will be working on transition houses and reentry programs for those children. You know, it's a tragic thing. When I was practicing also, so many youngsters, Dr. Cash, who would commit an offense, a crime, they would be sentenced, they would go away, they would do their time day for day. But when the authorities got ready to release them, the only place they had to send them back to was the very place they were arrested. The same place that sent them there, you send them right back there, and in 30 days they're right back. So we have got to work on alternatives, sending these kids back to the very environments that sent them into trouble from the very beginning. This is a moral imperative. It is a moral imperative, not a matter of laws, but it is just morally the right thing to do, particularly with our young. I am committed to doing more than any previous administration to use the influence of the mayor's office to create more jobs for our people. I am making personal commitments of my time to making sure that our existing major employers know how much we value them. The City Council knows how serious I am about development and refining the tax incentives and other tools we need to aggressively recruit and retain our major employers. I was just discussing this with Councilman Flynn. I want to thank the council for helping us a year or so ago when we brought in the improvements in the pilot program. It is paying off big time. Chairman Collins, thank you. You provided leadership on that. Thank you. We really appreciate it. We're going to make other improvements when it comes to how we can best bring new jobs into our great city. Now, for some time, it's no secret, I've been advocating for a consolidated metropolitan form of government. Simply put, it can provide every citizen and business in our region with the best services delivered more efficiently. We can eliminate the needless, wasteful bureaucracy that deters good companies and good jobs from making Memphis their home. I strongly encourage everybody to get involved with the group Rebuild Government, which will allow them to have a voice in determining how our government could and should serve them best. We can do more. Last week, I participated in a conference call with 3 other big city mayors to discuss with Vice President Joe Biden on how the next wave of Recovery Act funds should be allocated. The Vice President heard from me in no uncertain terms, we need more dollars to come straight to the cities. As I was sitting in the office and I looked out at the seawall along the river there, which is one of the things that's concerning Bass Pro, it needs to be shored up. I was looking out the window and I said quite frankly, I don't need a regional director in Atlanta, Georgia, nor do I need a governor to tell me that I need to show up that wall down there. We could put men and women to work on that wall tomorrow if the funds came to Memphis and not to Atlanta and Nashville, Tennessee. And that's what we're going to continue pushing for. I know how to put carpenters back to work. I know how to put roofers back to work. I know how to put painters back to work, plumbers and electricians back to work. I know where the housing stock is that needs rehabilitation, needs repair. I don't need Washington, I don't need Nashville or Atlanta to tell me where the jobs are, and I hope you'll let me get that message through. They did it with the banks, they did it from the top down. I never understood why, when it came to that thing, that they didn't simply go to the bank and say, tell us how many people are behind, give them their names and addresses, give them a voucher that they could use only to go and take it down to the bank. I never understood where it had to come out of, and it never got to. People are still getting kicked out every day. That's why we filed the mortgage foreclosure lawsuit last week. The relief from Washington has to be from Main Street up and not from Wall Street down, and we're going to continue pushing for that. The other thing, police officers, we didn't get as many as we wanted, but we know where the crime is. We know where we need police officers. Last week, we were requested to hold a jobs forum, which we will do this afternoon, asking the straightforward questions. We'll ask employers, what will it take for you to recall 10 employees? What will it take for you to start building again? What will it take for you to put your trucks back on the road again? We want to hear from the people right here. That's what this is going to be about this afternoon. If you have an opportunity, please drop in and take part in that. Finally, we've got a great city, but the blight that we see far too many places obscures the beauty of this city. We're going to undertake an effort to clean up the blight. We will coordinate with Shelby County government on that. We're going to make this a city, not only a city that we brag about in terms of tourism, but you know, we once used to have the moniker of being America's cleanest city, America's quietest city. Matter of fact, I was afraid to come to Memphis when I lived in Nashville because they said if you throw anything on the street in Memphis, Mayor Crump will arrest you down there. And I waited till I was grown before I came down here, so I wouldn't make that mistake. We want to get back to that. We're going to get back. This is going to be a clean and beautiful city. That is going to be our priority. And finally, we must continue, and I'm cutting this really short because I want to entertain questions. Finally, as opposed to building buildings and paving roads and seeking for the highest building or the broadest boulevards, let us seek to appeal to our people for the best in them and not appeal to the worst in them. Let us find those things that we have in common that bring us together. And I tell you, as I go across the city, I have felt a rebirth, and it showed up in the Memphis Business Journal survey of how people feel about our city. But let us not build up these hopes only to dash them by the things that we've done in the past. Let's build on this hope. Let's make it the real thing. We had the slogan of One Memphis when we campaigned. That was just something that somebody came up with. It's easy for somebody to come up with a slogan or a motto. But as has once been said, you can come up with an idea, but as it is with a child, two people can bring a child to this earth. But it takes more than two people to raise a child. Just as it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village, it takes our great city to nurture an idea and take it from more than a slogan, more than a motto, to the very DNA, the essence of our great city. It's been born. The theme of One Memphis is born. It's still a toddler. It has a way to go. It's just a babbling babe now. But it's up to you, it's up to all of us to take that baby, to take that idea. You're going to be the village. We're going to be the village that takes that little baby idea. We're going to raise it. It's going to be Memphis. It's going to be One Memphis. Thank you. May God bless you all.